Hey everyone, lovely to meet you, see you. I'm Mia, based over in London. I work very closely with Najee. I'm the Europe and Americas lead for the Commonwealth Youth Council. So we're kind of tasked to represent everyone under 30, including yourselves, across the Commonwealth in kind of every dimension, whether it's climate change, education, and kind of sustainable peace. Sorry. That's half my life. The other half of my life I work in climate change and climate finance. That pays the bills, but this is what I really like doing, and this is what where I really sit. I think really looking forward to the discussion and to kind of see what comes out from a small but really interesting group. And should I pass over to Smart?
Sure, we can popcorn it to each other.
I'll pop it to friend next to me.
Hello, my name is Yahya Abdi. You guys probably heard a lot of my story before. But essentially what I do is I sell hope for the cost of commitment and dedication. So I do that with the Hope Collective, which is one much different levels. Helping people make their dreams a reality.
No, thank you. Yeah. Others in front of us.
Hi everyone. My name is Rwanda. I come from Eswatini, formerly known as Swazi. And present for society.
Oh, play.
We work actually 90% of our volunteer family. So we're involved in volunteering work. So advocate for peace. Serious struggling to so like how I got nominated by the Youth Workers Association. I'm the chairperson. So this is my first conference. We are learning a lot. As a community and Canadian I don't know. That's registered by association, and we're hoping to introduce ourselves to government politicians.
Awesome. I must say I'm familiar with Eswatini. I've been to Lumbamba. Am I saying it right? I'm probably butchering the pronunciation.
My name.
No. The one of your capitals. Babane, yes. It's a beautiful city. So I'm glad that you're here to represent.
Thank you.
TJ, yes. Good to see you again, my dear friend.
Hello everyone. My name is DK Bwachimenko and I'm with the Commonwealth Secretariat, originally from Ghana. And I might talk about why I'm here.
Yes, what's your experience with youth work?
All right. Okay, so as you all know, it's Europe for the Commonwealth. So basically, we're looking into how to integrate youth work in our programs. I work with the debt office, and one of the areas we're trying to research into is how public debt in countries of Commonwealth as a whole affects development. I did my presentation earlier. My interest in this session particularly is one of the findings of the research is that high public debt levels at rest. I'm here to listen
Thank you, TJ. And let's head to the next person. Maybe, oh, there's a gentleman here. Sorry, you're blocked. Introduce yourself and your.
In this segment. My name is Brian. I'm from Nigeria. The next question, you answered already. So, for obvious reasons, whatever this session stands for, there's a case study that hasn't made Nigeria. So it's very traditional that I should have some interest in it. So I think from every point of view, I should have an input and lovely say it.
Awesome, thank you. I was actually in Abuja just a few months ago. Yeah, and I love Ghana jollof rice. Yes, yes. I'm a good friend of mine is from Accra, so I'm really happy to be here.
Don't you think you have actually having the wrong job right now? You should be a tourist.
Perhaps, perhaps. All right, Lauren.
Yep, and so hi.
Pull this one off.
President of Society, based in Geneva, Switzerland, comes from the UK. The background for the youth engagement, and then the work that I joined the IFRC was in relation to a sports and youth program for youth building in different contexts. And also we're together working with the Big Six youth organisations, so global programs for young people, and just looking at in relation to sustainable development and SDGs, and sort of, yeah, just driving that forward, as well as the general humanitarian work that the Federation does. But I'm based in the volunteering youth and education team, so my focus is that, and part of the whole IFRC volunteer base is under the age of 30 as well. And we also look at it from youth as volunteers, youth as members of the communities that we serve, and then youth as leaders. Interested in seeing what the case study is and how
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, your turn.
Hi, I'm Julie Beckett. I work for Education Scotland, which is our national body in Scotland for support and improvement for everything to do with education. So I'm part of the Communities and Families team. And before I did this job, I was a youth worker and family support worker is my background. So in this role, I have a national responsibility for children's rights and also learning for sustainability. So that was why I came along to this one.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for coming.
I'm Sarah Robinson Galloway, also from Scotland, but I work for Youth Link Scotland through the National Agency for Youth Work. My remit is anything to do with equality, diversity, inclusion, hate crime, conflict, you name it, all those fun things. It's what I talk about and do and try and share and stop, basically, make everyone happy. But my interest in peace specifically is I grew up in Northern Ireland, and a lot of that conflict, sectarian conflict, has come across to Scotland as well. So I always find it interesting to hear about how peace is sustained from a young person's perspective, from like different reasons in different areas. And I feel like there's a lot of learning, a lot of crossover. When you talk about prejudice and hate, we are really talking about conflict, even if it's not physical, very often and peace.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And last but by no means least, the gentleman in the corner.
Hi, my name is Aidan. So I'm a researcher, I'm a lecturer in youth work. I've been a youth worker for about 15, 16 years. So I've lectured in Youth University in Ireland, and I've just recently taken a position as the research officer with the National Youth Council of Ireland. And one of those tasks is to map the presence of global youth work in education programs in Ireland. So it's with that kind of focus that I'm coming to different sessions over the last couple of days.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for your work. All of you who have been in this space, fighting the good fight and championing youth and definitely youth work. We really appreciate your contributions. I am sad to report that it has been confirmed that both presenters they have vanished. I don't know how else to put it. And so we have two options really. We can sit here and have a conversation surrounding both what we intended to speak about. Alternatively, I do feel compelled to let you know that there are other sessions that are happening concurrently. There is one about learning and access, another one about youth work in small island states, supervision within youth work, health-based youth work, and training for self-engagement in youth program. Oh, that one has also been cancelled. Okay.
The presenters are not there.
Okay. So I guess if you are interested in learning about learning and access or youth work in small island states or supervision within youth work, you do have the liberty to go ahead and leave. But if you want to stick around, you're more than welcome to do so. I am booked to be here until the end of the hour. So I have to fulfill my responsibilities. So yes, I guess I'll give those of you who, although I don't see anybody moving, which is a good sign,
Stay here but move seats because
Yeah.
I feel like I've got my back right here.
Perfect circle or
Yeah,
something.
sorry. Real youth worker there.
So we have like a share circle going on. Nelson, you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself. Please, for those who haven't had the privilege of getting to know you.
Just introduce me.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nelson. I work with the Scouts, based at our Africa Regional Office in Nairobi, Kenya.
Mhm.
And yeah, so Nigeria and Rwanda are in Africa. And we also have several programs we run with young people around peace and dialogue. So I was really interested to come in and join in and see what's happening in Nigeria and Rwanda. We have some strong movements there, so it would be good for me to see what the connection points are.
Absolutely. And I feel compelled to apologize on behalf of the two presenters. I'm
No.
unsure why they were unable to make it, but I think that there is enough of a group think within this room for us to at least have a pretty strong conversation about what we would have been discussing. One of the elements of the discussion I was planning to have with the gentleman who, for one reason or another, couldn't make it, was the role of young people, and particularly, especially our youth workers, in the recovery and development of our countries, especially in a post-COVID-19 world. Certainly, young people have a key role to play in how we are, the UN Secretary General would say, how we are building back better and how we are rebounding from the crisis that took place. And so perhaps I can start with our friends who are, well, our friends, yes, friends who are friends, or four friends who are from the African region, to hear perhaps how your governments are using young people and youth workers, your youth ministries in kind of helping to build that better and those efforts towards youth empowerment and inclusion, especially post-COVID-19. Would love to hear. It's a shame Charlotte isn't here to take notes, but I'll scribble some stuff until she comes. So perhaps you can share. Anyone who wants
I
to
think I
volunteer.
would rather have a brother from Nigeria.
I know you came to listen, but you came also to actively participate. So we'll be happy to have a conversation. And those of you who are online or who want to participate in the conversation, please.
They've all left.
Oh, well. Well, it's just us. Good.
It's just yourselves. Would you like me to turn the screen off?
Sure, whatever is would be
Yeah.
fine. I mean, maybe we
Oh,
could
I mean,
leave it in
you
case
can leave
someone.
it on it or record.
Record, yeah.
Yeah.
Record the session.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think that because we should speak from facts. There should be empirical evidence for whatever we speak.
Yes.
So I'll prefer. I'm not supposed to be quoted, but
Okay.
because
Yeah, so you should have all the
yeah,
rules. Okay.
I'll speak holistically about what I know.
Yes.
For the speakers that would have done this should have
Mhm.
spoken based on facts they have and based on the research they've
Yes.
they've made. So basically, we must speak about the youth engagements. We all know in Nigeria we've got so much population, and of course, sadly, the out of school the numbers keep increasing. For some reason, personally, I do not know, but for some reason, the government might decide to have a word or two about that. But we to a large extent, I must comment about the governments. They're putting so much work to ensure that there's youth involvement in everything, in sports, of course, in education for where they are able to come. They've done so much as regards that. But there's never a time we will say they've done their best because we still hope for that there are some key environment or public key sectors that the young people should be more involved. And I would say that the young people should be more involved in the boardroom. Because if they're not involved in the boardroom, they wouldn't be able to speak to areas that affect them. So that's where my major concern is. I'm not saying it's happening, but I feel like the ministers should be there should be a spec based on the age of who should fill that ministry. Like you said before, there's a portfolio in Jamaica also, where you have too many things in one ministry.
Yes.
Where you have the entertainment, sports, youth, and everything. But if the government looks at the youth ministry and ensures that they have a budgetary allocation that would be able to cater for or cater to the youths. It's going to be somewhat very, very good for us, basically.
Thank you for raising that, and I appreciate it. And there's a whole concept, especially in policy. We talk about the NEET bracket, and NEET means stands for youth who are not in employment, education, or training. And what we found is that especially during COVID-19 and post, that number has certainly just exacerbated. And so many more young people are no longer in employment, education, or training. And so how governments respond to that, especially in prioritizing our young people and youth empowerment and inclusion in a post-COVID-19 world, is really critically important. I'd love to turn to my friend from Accra, Ghana, to hear how that your government is responding to that. And I again understand that we all didn't come here for this, but having the conversation nonetheless.
Yeah. I've supported a lot of agitation within the youth because most of them have lost their jobs and talk less of the mental stress and all the other health and education and pretty much loss of livelihood after COVID. So what government did was one of the very good initiatives they rolled out was the Youth Start program. And it's actually a youth-led initiative that is supposed to drive innovation, entrepreneurship, and actually kickstart growth within the youth, basically, and give them some form of livelihood, essentially. So government, I would have to check the funding, but then government allocated substantial amount to the program. It was led by our National Youth Agency, and basically it encourages any youth or any young person with any great business initiative to just come out, reach out, and then an evaluation is done, and then based on that, resources are allocated. I wouldn't say there was enough resources to go by. I don't know how they had to eventually ration it, but then I think it was a program that was well received both by the youth and even other policy actors in the space, because it did solve a problem and it also gave good assurance to the youth that government had your interest at hand and we're actually driving policies targeted specifically at the youth and the need for the youth. So I think it did calm a lot of tensions and it did also restore hope to a lot of others. I wouldn't be able to talk about how effective the program has been over the years, but then I think it's seen some great initiatives and even innovation come out from the youth in the areas of business and solving some of the challenges after COVID. So yeah, essentially in brief, that's one of the great initiatives I think government put in place that was very youth targeted, which has yielded results.
Thank you. And I think one thing that was unique to what you said and has been highlighted, and we often don't hear that, is the unique ability of the youth demographic to really promote social cohesion and tolerance. And that's something that as a young demographic we're able to do. And we have this unique ability to mobilize communities and to work in positive change, and especially at the grassroots level, to go ahead and to impact change, especially at that level. And promoting social cohesion and tolerance is something that came through to me very strongly in your presentation, and that's really nice. Turns out our waiting is not in vain. We may just have a presenter who is currently being set up, so we'll just continue our conversation until he is ready to take over. But thank you for sticking around. I want to turn to my brethren from Eswatini to see if he has any comments on, I should mention that this is about youth in sustainable peace, and we're using case studies from Nigeria and Rwanda, but it is not limited to that context. So I'll be turning to you from other regions in just a moment. Perhaps if you could get some context on, perhaps, I know you're not a representative of your government, but anything that you know as a young person about how they prioritized youth empowerment and inclusion post-COVID-19 would be very beneficial to the discussion.
Thank you very much. I think like another country, we were affected hugely economically by COVID-19. Young people unemployed, our government could really afford to support young in their tertiary fields. It was happened for young people such that we ended up having, soon after the unrest, we ended up having civil unrest being led by young people. But we really appreciate the effort that is played by partners, including IFRC, ICRC, from the Red Cross movement, and we appreciate the European Union through the ambassador, through other British High Commissioner. They came in at that time and they advocated for peace, and that they still continue to. But to the young people, them being engaged and taking a lead in these peace initiatives, we still have a lot of work to do. But very few people are involved in peace building project. We still have a lot of work to do because they do feel that they're neglected by their government, neglected by everyone. So they're carrying the heavy burden of so I think we really need to work together with that because one needs to identify the main causes of violence, the main issues that make peace disappear in a country, that include poverty. So we need to work hard together. And we also want to appreciate another partner, UNDP, just started a program called Youth Empowerment Program. So I'm just focusing on the young. And I think that is a very big focus. Some of them have got about 10, 12 years after graduating, no work, no business opportunity, no support in the party. So when UNDP comes in and provide that support, these are basically engagement one with the party. So probably one can also mention that our government is trying.
Yes.
Under those conditions that they are trying. We do have youth empowerment funds in our constituencies provided by governments and training, interpretation, and support. So I think we do have those funds for our young people to try and have some income generation. But my point is that peace building.
Yes.
We have a lot of assignments, a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Engaging.
Thank you.
That's what I think.
Honestly, that's good. And when you mentioned the UN, I should also mention that part of my day job right now is that I also work at the UN. And at the UN in 2015, the UN Security Council passed Resolution 2250, which was about, not sure if you know, the YPS agenda, which is the Youth, Peace and Security Agenda. And essentially, the Security Council recognized that young people have a role to play in building peace and sustaining peace, and not in the short term, but in the long term as well. And they spoke about how it worked in protection, and how they worked with not only protection, but prevention. And that's another thing that we, in Jamaica, we were saying that prevention better than cure. And so we're trying to make sure that our young people are there from the outset, and if they're in these spaces, that we can empower them and ensure that they have agency to go about going about ensuring lasting peace.
Yeah.
And so let me turn it to someone else who I haven't heard from. Anyone else has any comments on this while we allow, or he's
not identifying themselves. I've given them privileges, but at the moment,
no.
whether there's a problem, I would just try to do it. No.
Okay.
They're not.
No. Okay. Let's keep the conversation going. Let me turn to Nelson.
Yeah. I think I'll speak in a more broader sense. And you mentioned very well that young people have a role to play in building and keeping peace. And for us, how we look at it from the Scout movement's perspective is that it comes down to the awareness that at in the very personal level, I have a responsibility. As a young person, I have a responsibility to contribute to peace. And having known that, then what do I need? how do I need to equip myself to be able to actively contribute towards those, processes? And for us, two things really stand out. Number one is what kind of values do we inculcate in young people to enable them to, grow up being people that understand the value of peace and have a commitment to really contribute to peace. And then secondly is, as a young person, what can I do, at my own really local level? What can I do, to make some positive contribution? And one of the things we do, actually two things we do, is that number one, we have two programs. One that basically creates awareness to young people around what peace means to them and what can they do about it. And secondly, we have a training program. We call it Dialogue for Peace. Basically, we are training young people to become community peace mediators, facilitators of dialogue. Because when you look at why conflicts, occur, among many other reasons, there is the issue of power, there's the issue of resources, So if we're able to get the people that hold power in community to have a discussion about the need for us to really build and sustain peace, then and bring them to the table together with the community, then we stand some good chance of getting some mileage to really push forward this agenda. And then secondly, if communities also realize that we are all connected in one way or another, and whatever resources exist, we can always find ways of sharing and ensuring that everybody benefits from. So for us, it's really at that level that we see young people making a contribution. And an example I'd say from Kenya is not what the government did well, but one thing they didn't do well. You've just mentioned about young people not in education training, employment, education, and training. And we recently had elections, national elections. And, for us, elections are very emotive. And, they, in many cases, they often turn out to become very violent, and that's actually one of the areas we've been working with young people to really promote peace within the electioneering context. Lots of civic education during campaign electioneering periods. And so after the elections, one of the things the government did is that they stopped university scholarships, to young people. Previously government would issue student loans, for young people to pursue the university education. And then president said, just within 3 or 4 months after coming into office, the young people could not report back to school, and we had rising cases of crime. Yesterday we visited the armored hut, and in Nairobi, within a very short time, people started getting stabbed on the street corners, and it was just chaotic. And for me, that was an indication of the role education plays in meaningfully engaging young people. So if we cut that link, then it's a recipe for a lot of other problems. But luckily, it got to a point that people said, no, we must sit down and sort this out. But so ultimately, they sort of managed to find a formula to, keep that going. But yeah, that's.
Awesome. I have a comment, but I think Dife wants to engage with something that you said, so I'll allow her to do so.
I think I missed it. What's missing? Explanation, basically.
Well, so it's got a lot to do with the new government's economic policy. Yeah.
So it's interesting. It actually ties into the paper I had presented earlier in the session, public debt. So we are looking at how public debt affects youth development. And one of the strong arguments we're making is that when government is faced with a very high debt burden, one of the first lines of discretionary payments they will cut is funding to youth development, particularly education and all the other areas of care. So I wanted to actually drill further on that, the link. And I think somehow it probably was linked. Yeah, so it will be a
Yeah,
very
it is. It is.
actually follow up on and see exactly what the economic policy was and what necessitated.
I agree. One thing I'll engage with that, and then I'll go on to my question that we had mentioned in even in your session this morning, the importance of having a strong architecture to support youth work. I had given an example that in Jamaica some years ago, we used to have, and I think this is a very wide context or wide issue in a lot of your own contexts, is that we don't often find youth ministries that are standalone. They're often tethered to other things. And so in Jamaica, in 2015, we had a ministry of culture, gender, entertainment, sport, and youth. And you can imagine the cut of the budget that youth got in fighting for those 5 things, you know? So if we are supposed to support and buttress the good work that youth work is doing and to invest in it, then we have to have proper architectures to support it, which comes to this debt conversation that we're having. But one thing you mentioned, Nelson, I want to engage with is supporting young people's vision for peace. And I haven't had the experience of growing up in conflict, but what I do know is that even young people who grow up in conflict have dreams of what conflict should not look like, and have dreams of what a peaceful environment should be. And those dreams, those ambitions, those visions have to be incorporated into whatever policy recommendations are coming forth from that country and whatever is being implemented in that. And we also have to provide, going back to my architecture conversation, spaces for that meaningful participation and engagement for young people to be a part of those conversations. We've been in a conversation, but this session has to close by 4 p.m. So if you could condense your presentation to around 10 to 15 minutes, we'd appreciate it greatly.
Okay, so I'm going to be very fast because I want to be reading. I want to be reading the presentation. I'm sorry, like I already shared the presentation. For anyone who wants to see the flow, they will be able to see that. But I'm going to take you through a story. When I was creating this presentation, I was looking at a story. Of course, when you look at the progress of Rwanda, our youth empowerment, the Power Youth Work today, we empower youth because we have learned some lessons in the past on how much young people who are not empowered can be a disaster to a country's national development. And it's very important when you are reflecting on that, it informs our policies and how we are empowering young people. So I'm going to share with you a story, and then I hope everyone who will be following this presentation will be able to reflect on where has Rwanda come from, and where are we going to, and how is the power of youth work contributing to this journey. So my name is Amon. I'm a co-founder and executive director at Rwanda Peace Development, an organization that empowers young people through peace building. But we also I also participate and represent young people on the council and the advisory committee for the Year of Youth, which I'm very, very pleased to represent young people in the Commonwealth. So let me start with the story. Let me hope you can hear me current. Yeah.
Yes, I'm on.
All right. So a story that I select this story because it also connects with the home of my descendants. Let me hope. I hope, like in this room, there are some people who have their families who contributed to the liberation of their countries, or participate, or they have maybe their grandfathers who participated, or who were part of the leadership of their nations. So my great-grandfather was one of the kings of Rwanda, called King Fourth Gahindiro. And my father was also a cadre of the Rwanda Patriotic Front, which contributed to the liberation of our country. But if you look at the Ruhengeri prefecture, which I referenced in my presentation, was an area where my great-grandfathers and descendants were controlling. Some of the sons of my great-grandfather were controlling some of these areas in the early ages. So if you look at on the 18th or 18th of March 1991, there is a story. The head of intelligence services in Rwanda Prefecture sent a report to his Director General requesting weapons to distribute to the people and youth of Rohingya in preparation and execution of the 1994 genocide perpetrated against Tutsi. So this operation was supposed to be coordinated by leaders, that is mayors, sales leaders, and advisors were supposed to coordinate this operation. And now, according to the plan, they were supposed to start from Rwanda Prefecture and replicate the plan to other areas of the country in implementation of the execution of wiping the Tutsi. You know, people who had right to the nation, people who had right to life, people who had who did not choose how they would look like, you know. And then young people between 18 to 25 years, robust, were supposed to receive trainings, weapons, and then dress in casual clothes and wait for the due course when they would be given orders to fight against the Rwanda Patriotic Front. So, and whom the regime, the genocidal regime, was saying, like, these people are coming to steal. They were still spreading lies to the young people, to the young population, that young people who are coming to liberate the country are robbers. They're coming to rob and kill. But then, if you look at some point, the Rwanda Patriotic Front had to meet 600 soldiers of the Rwanda Patriotic Front, had to focus. They had this genocidal regime because they wanted, there was already, the genocide was already implemented in the country and people were killing, you know. So when you look at the plan of the genocidal regime and what they did, they were targeting areas that are near the borders of Rwanda and Uganda by then. And then later, this seed of hatred and cultivating hate led to the loss of 1 million people in just 100 days. So in 1994 genocide, we saw youth, the power of youth work was used to execute people, to kill people for nothing. They were not supposed to receive any payment according to the operation. And you could see that the military was driving this plan. It was coming from the head of state, coming down and empowering young people to go and execute. So these are young people. Today in the Commonwealth, we have young people are under ages of 29. So the same, we believe in young people. We are empowering young people, but it's a very imperative to think about, what do we empower young people to do? The power of youth work can be of use. It can be of use and bring development to the country, or destroy the country's national development, depending on how the leadership empowers them and how they are cultivated and how they are trained. So that is how now, that is the power of youth work during the 1994 genocide. Young people did not have analytical skills and critical skills to think about the impact of what they're doing. So we learned that it's very important to empower young people to participate and drive national development, because they participated in the destruction of the country. Now, the second part is a key role. Now we see the second area where youth of the Rwanda Patriotic Front, these are young people who had fled from the country in the 1959, 63, and 73. So these young people, the descendants of their fathers who were denied the right to democracy, had been abroad for more than 30 years. And they grew up, they brought together, they united themselves and said, no, we need to fight for the rights of our nation, and we need to ensure that we bring back peace. So now we see the power of youth work in the second area, in the second category, them fighting for peace, you know. And young people came together and they formed what we call the Rwanda Association of National Unity, you know. And they wanted to ensure that they establish a country that creates equal opportunities for all, a country that values democracy, inclusiveness, where every person is included, a country that creates opportunities for every Rwandan, a country that empowers young people and everybody to benefit from the resources, from the beauty of the country. So one day, President Habyarimana of the genocidal regime was quoted saying, "Rwanda is like a full of glass of water. When you add more water, then water will spill over." He was referencing to that Rwanda is too small, for other Rwandans to come in. Today, we are still even hosting more people coming from abroad, and the country is still a home. It's still open to different people. So this is how some of the regime was denying democracy rights to people. And then we see young people, the power of youth work. We see the power of youth restoring peace, stopping genocide, and then they staged a war to stop genocide and establish in the country, create a country that is open for all. One day, like 600 soldiers of the Rwanda Patriotic Front fought more than 12,000 troops, in the capital of Kigali. And they were defending the peace. They were defending the peace and development. They faced a lot. They accepted to sleep in trenches, face death each day. They were at the same time, they were fighting, liberating people, protecting people. And at the same time, they were also providing food, medical care, cooking for people, giving them where they need to be. And all this, it shows us, this is where we draw the lessons that the power of youth work can bring solutions to a country. However, a country can be devastated, we can still establish peace. And then today, if we look at today, what has been done because of the support of the government, in 1997, the National Youth Council was formed. And this is because the government wanted to prioritize and create an opportunity, a platform for young people to pioneer and drive the restoration and building a country that was destroyed by genocide, and not only to fight, not only to avoid the repeat of what happened in 1994, but also to ensure that young people are empowered to co-create and participate in the co-creation of development. So we no longer need young people who are participating as just participants. We want young people who are driving national development as co-creators. And this is why the government of Rwanda has established different institutions, including in the parliament, we have a youth representative today who works with the National Youth Council. And the National Youth Council also represents young people. We have 3 levels of youth across the nation, which are represented from the national level to the village level. Yeah. So we have the Rwanda Youth Volunteers, we have the youth of the Rwanda Patriotic Front, and we also have the National Youth Council that are collaborative, working together, participating in every decision that is at every level of decision making. Now today, the power of youth work has recorded a lot of progress because of these institutions that were built. One, we as youth workers have built 5,321 organic gardens. Yeah, we have built 5,321 organic gardens in support to fight against malnutrition in the country. And we have also planted 67,800 trees in support of afforestation in the past 13 years. The membership for engaging young people has increased from when we started 13 years ago, before Rwanda joined the Commonwealth. We had only 300 youth volunteers, but for the past 13 years, our youth volunteers have increased from 300 to more than 250,000. So that means every year we have had an increase of more than 25,000 increase of young people, and we have also built houses for the needy. We have paid more than like 284 premium insurances for the needy people. We have built 1,989 toilets for the needy to ensure that we are also tackling hygiene. 1,440 kilometers of roads have been built. 3,200 trenches of water have been restructured. These are some of the power of youth work. This is what we're talking about. So this is among the lessons that we have done. As I close, the lessons we have learned, first of all, there was a need to build. It's like during the 1994 genocide, young people were not empowered. Education was still down. It was discriminative. It was not creating equal opportunities for all. And we found that there is a need for the government to empower young people, improve education, but also empower them to be at the front line of taking decisions and increase their critical thinking, which these institutions, the youth leadership institutions at every level are doing. They're empowering young people, mobilizing them, and also helping them to practice and increase their critical thinking, And again, among the gaps that we have seen, we still have the gaps of unemployment and youth mainstreaming challenges, like other Commonwealth countries. But we also, as young people, are participating in the design with the Ministry of Youth to ensure that also the voices of young people are heard. And we believe that where we have come from is far, where we're going is far, but we are very committed to keep driving and keep benefiting from the opportunities that the Commonwealth is giving to ensure that young people are ready to drive our national development. So we, as the Rwanda Peace Development, what we are doing today is to ensure that we have started the plans to start a research about youth status mentally, socially, economically, to understand what is the status of youth in regards to youth, how peaceful are they economically, socially, mentally, and then come up with youth empowerment programs that will be having phases, including psychology activities, dialogue, economic recovery projects that would empower young people and create more jobs, to ensure that we are continuously supporting the government to drive and bring back to more like empower young people to be to drive national development. So thank you very much. We look forward to even working with the Commonwealth to ensure that we continuously build the empower young people to be useful and contribute to the power of continuously thrive through the power of youth work. We have like challenges regarding that, like knowledge in research, doing research and knowledge, to do maybe like masters or other areas of education to understand these areas like master conflict and peace. But we understand that through the Commonwealth and collaboration, we will reach there. So thank you very much. God bless you, and to the Commonwealth.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Amon Mugabuka, who was joining us from Rwanda. And I'm really glad that he would have been able to make it. And I understand there would have been some challenges. But I'd say by heart, this has been my favorite session because of you all and how flexible you all have been. So I want you to give yourselves a round of applause, please, for sticking through the tough times with us and for being here. We really, really do appreciate it. And so, although we heard from Amon a while ago, we also gained a lot of practical insight from what we would have shared between each other. And so I want just to end on the note of knowing that that diversity in experiences and all of that we discussed, we all share a similar struggle, and they can lean upon each other and lean on our experiences and our collective struggles and challenges to learn insights and recommendations how we can better pivot ourselves and our recommendations for our countries. So I want to thank you all, and this is the final session for today. We're going to head back to the plenary room now, and thereafter you will be free to go. So this is almost end of day 2. Thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you. Hold on, before you clap. I have a session tomorrow in the afternoon in youth work and advocacy. I hope to see you all there. I think it's something that you all will enjoy, and I will ensure my speakers are present for that. So thank you all, and looking forward to seeing you later today and tomorrow.